Live from Chicago, NBA Draft Combine 2025. Wes Hall, Hughes and Bijan Todd on site after a great day of interviews and conversations with the potential draft picks of the 2025 class. Guys, first of all, just your overall thoughts, anything that stood out to you?
Well, now that the dust has settled on the lottery and the Wizards getting the 6th overall pick, and talking to people here at the Combine, talking to the players themselves, one thing that stands out to me is the Wizards, I think, are going to be in a good spot, and here's why. They were 30th in offense last year, but they're building their defense, right? They've drafted a bunch of defensive pieces. There's going to be a lot of players in their range at 6 that have high ceilings on offense. So I think they have started to build their defense. This could be the year they start to build their offense and get a high upside score.
I like the sound of that, Bijan.
For me, Wes, this was my first time here, and it was incredible. I loved it. It was a surreal experience, hectic in the best possible way. From the Combine itself yesterday, what stood out to me is that there are a lot of athletes in this class. I mean, guys who can jump high, who can run fast. I looked it up. John Wall ran a 3.14 three-quarter court speed time, right? About 5 or 6 guys beat that this year. Jeremiah Fears from Oklahoma, who we're going to talk about in a minute, ran a 3.05, which is lightning quick. Guys who can jump out of the gym. I think it's going to be a very interesting class from an athletic perspective.
They should do that drill with the ball.
I was going to say that's
John Wall's speed. It was what he did with the ball.
Fair point.
That's what I feel like when I watch the NFL come. I'm like, can you do that in pass? So here, but you mentioned guys, and you mentioned a name. So let's go ahead and look at the number 6 overall pick. Give me a couple of names that stand out to you for Wizards fans at home, looking to hear they want to hear.
The first one I would say is Ace Bailey of Rutgers. A lot of fans out there probably don't expect him to be there at 6, but guys rise and fall from here to draft night. And he's a tremendous scorer, one of the best shooters in this draft, shot lights out at the Combine, compares his game to Kevin Durant and Paul George, so I think he could be a good fit. Again, the Wizards need some offense. And then secondly, a name a lot of fans around D.C. are familiar with, Derek Queen. We all saw the shot he made in the tournament for University of Maryland, probably the best local prospect to come into the draft in a long time. Friends with Bub, goes way back with him. Again, another high upside score.
For me, Wes, I'm going to start out with Trey Johnson of Texas. I'm really hoping he falls to 6. I don't know if that's wishful thinking or not, because I think some teams in the 3 or 4 range are going to want to take him. He can jump out of the gym. He's one of those guys who I mentioned who had an incredible vertical. He's about 6'4", 6'5", a real 3-level scorer. And we talked about how the Wizards need more offense. He can fit in that role in the backcourt. He had an amazing shooting day yesterday. He's a real guy who I would like to compare to Tyrese Maxey, but a little bit bigger. And I think that's very interesting.
Sure.
Another guy at 6 for me is the guy I mentioned earlier, Jeremiah Fears from Oklahoma. He's lightning quick, like I mentioned. We talked to him just a little bit ago during his press conference, and I asked him, hey, have you met with the Wizards? How's everything gone? He's like, I had a great meeting with the Wizards. They talked about how I could fit into their system, and he's another guy who can put the ball in the hoop. And with that speed, a team that likes to play fast like the Wizards are, he fits right in.
New things on the stage for the Washington Wizards. And again, we appreciate the time we had here at the Draft Combine. Guys, great work on both of you. Appreciate you, Bijan. Appreciate you, Chase. As I said before, we're on to Brooklyn, Wizards fans. We'll see you then.